to see if things will translate well into a video in case you need it. Find a nice, comfortable seat. It's always a great place to check in lieu of laying down. So in a mat class, this is where you would lay down and center. Centering is really important. So we're thinking and doing, we're using that part of the brain to get here, to get technology set up. So we're shifting into allowing ourselves to feel and just be. Give yourself permission to just be. And let's do a breath count using the hand. So I'll come up and show you what I'm doing. So this is one technique I use to count breaths. So on the inhale, you're going to take your thumb, find the base of your index finger, all the way, that's your whole inhale, to the tip of the finger. On your exhale, you're going to slide that thumb down. There's one breath. Inhale and exhale. There's two breaths. So you can use that and count. Let's start over. So erase. And very gently, at your own pace, we'll count 4 breaths, just centering, just being. So I'm going to do both thumbs on both fingers today. And then after about 3 breaths, that's when the blood chemistry starts to change and get into, it switches from that sympathetic to parasympathetic. So any chance you need to use this breath counting technique, use that maybe at night before you go to sleep, or if you wake up in the middle of the night. It gives your mind something to think about, the tactile touch of your hand, and it allows you to focus on being able to count your breaths. It's pretty important. So I know I lose count after about 3. So, all right, back to centering so we can set our intention. So feel comfy in your chair, being present, allowing yourself permission to be right where you're at. Feel your body without judging. So yeah, you might have a stiff neck or whatever. Just let it be. Just breathe. And think about what you would like to get out of your yoga practice today. So when you're ready to seal in your intention, let's do one hand over the heart, one hand over the belly today. And get up nice and tall. Seal in your intention. Maybe you take your chin to your chest. Keep the shoulders nice and low, and you can look forward whenever you're ready. We'll bring the palms together. Let your thumbs press gently right there in the sternum. Feel that little pressure point and try to remember that as a tool if you're feeling a little anxious, breathing in and out through that point. We're going to bring in some movement. Ready? On your inhale, bring those hands up. Arms are coming up. Exhale, open your arms out nice and wide and release. Go within your own comfortable range of motion. Here we go. Inhale up. Exhale down. Let's do one more just like that. What are you letting go of? And the hands come back to heart center, and let's reverse that. So dropping the hands down, inhale up. I'm taking the gaze up too, and then I'm going to take the gaze down here. So what would you like to invite in? We're gathering that up. Big breath in, exhale down. Bring it into your heart. Patience, tolerance, compassion, kindness. Pause there. Let those shoulders stay rolled down. Big breath in, get extended through the spine. And on your exhale, push into those feet, twist a little or a lot. So you're welcome to keep your hands at your heart center. I'm going to do a lot less, and maybe I'll talk you into doing a lot more because I'm feeling kind of yucky today. So you can stay here. If you want to deepen, you can drop your hands and really get into that twist. Notice your breath in the belly. On your inhale, push into your feet. See if that can help stabilize through your hips. Nice and tall. Exhale, twist the other way. Same thing, deepen if you like. And inhale, come back to the center. Release your hands down and sorry. Then come forward, lean forward a little or a lot. You can come back up and lean forward again, just to kind of explore what the low back is feeling like. So maybe you stay in that folded over seated child's pose and see if you want to tuck your chin in towards your chest. Inhale and come back up, nice and tall. Good. Let's get the neck a little bit warmed up. So just take your head side to side, drawing a line across the horizon with your nose. Notice if your breath disappeared. Good. Back to the center. Let your right ear come over your right shoulder. Left ear over left shoulder. Exploring, we're exploring. Like, oh, one side feels tighter, or they're the same. All right, stabilize your shoulders. Right ear over right shoulder, and then look down. Inhale, looking up. And gently looking back down. Find it neutral with your gaze, and then bring your head on straight. Get nice and tall. Oh yeah, park the car in the garage while you're at it. So back your head up, and then drop your head over. Looking down. That's our exhale, looking up on the inhale. All right. Find neutral with your gaze. Bring your head on straight, chin to chest. We're going to bring those hands to the back of the head, lightly interlaced, maybe just the first knuckle, if at all. And I'm going to gently resist as I bring the head up. And keep going. Maybe bring this into a little bitty baby back bend, just for the upper back. And release back to a neutral position. So neutral meaning shoulders stacked over hips. My arms are still out. You can keep your hands to the back of your head or to your shoulders. I'm going to bring the elbows in and out. Exhale here, inhale here. Good. Oh, lots of pop-in action going on. All right, and then let's take the arms. We can bring them to the fingers to the shoulders or rest your hands down. We're going into our lateral stretch for the spine. Good. I'm going to opt out of all that other junk. You guys keep going. Hopefully you're noticing a nice stretch through the ribs and into the hips. When you're ready, when you feel like you have both sides evenly, come back and we'll neutralize the spine with our cat-cow. So make sure you have enough space between your back and the back of the chair. Hold on to your knees today. We'll turn this into a bit of a massage too. So as you exhale, we're gonna roll the shoulders forward. Bring your fingers in front of your kneecaps. Then your inhale, roll your shoulders back. I'm pressing and gliding my hands into the legs. So we can do a number of things here. So especially if you're already used to your seated cat-cow, you can feel the massage in your legs and your knees. You can strengthen your fingers. Good. Stretch your shoulders, tuck your chin. Ooh, that feels nice. All that plus the breath. So the exhale is here, arching, rounding. The inhale is here, lifting, opening. Good. One more. All right, and then come back to a neutral position. Let's take our elbows back out. Do that little check. So check in with each elbow and make sure that your wrists are stacked on top of your elbows. And that might mean taking your elbows in front. So I'm going to turn just a bit sideways so you can see if you have little tight shoulders, you might be like this. So instead of trying to force the elbow back or trying to force your wrist back, bring your elbow in front. So we're gonna open here, squeeze the shoulder blades, get those muscles working. And exhale, you can bring your arms forward if they don't have to touch. I'm more concerned with strengthening the upper back. Strengthen, squeeze, widespread fingers. I should be able to see air through your fingers if I could see you. Good. You still breathing? One more. Squeeze. Good. Squeeze, stay there. And release. Good. Oh, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. All right, another way we can strengthen our posture muscles, of course, we've done this one before. So make sure you got that alignment again. So elbows under wrists. I'm gonna pull those arms back like I'm gliding up the wall. Inhale up and exhale down. I always like to bring in a little movement of my head here so I'm not holding tension in the neck. Inhale up and exhale back. And I like that you can adjust the tension. So you can float the arms up if you want less work, or you can engage all the muscles into the bones if you want more work. Good. Let's do a couple more. Breathing makes it yoga, right? All right, last one. And then we'll end here. Just kind of wiggle it out. Nice. Bring those arms straight out. So I'm going to have my palms down to start out with, just in case you can't see what my hands are doing. And we're going to take 2 small circles backwards. And 2 medium circles backwards, only backwards. Let's try 3. And then large circles, nice and slowly. Good. All right. And then we're going to bring those arms in front. Crisscross at the elbows if you can. And either hug those shoulders, grab a hold of your shoulders, or find an eagle pose with your arms. So let's see, I'll mirror your right arm underneath the left. Lift your elbows, and then we're going to turn slowly. Bring your elbows to one side, gaze to the other. Switch sides. Ooh, that feels nice. And come back. All right, remember which arm you had on the bottom. Arms are coming out. And then back in front. Good. Let's take left arm underneath. Hug or eagle, you guys. Nice. Stay there, or you can get those twists in. So already we did a little strengthening and a bunch of stretching. So we're gonna stretch those arms out and drop it down. Good. Really need to neutralize those shoulders. Okay. And somehow, through the yoga world, we know that the shoulders are connected to the hips. So when at the end, when we do our pigeon, that's why I usually say soften your shoulders, and then usually the hips follow. Pretty wacky. I love it. All right, so we're at the edge of the chair. Speaking of hips, let's do our thing here. So we're gonna focus on the right side first. So lifting and lowering just your right heel. And usually I do say pigeon for the end of class because that's a longer hold, and we're a little bit more warmed up then. So lifting just that right heel, we're going to drop the right knee in with full awareness into how that feels on the hip. Explore your range of motion. Don't judge your range of motion. And then see if softening, relaxing your shoulders helps into that hip. You might not be tight in your hip, so you might not think, oh, it doesn't do anything for me. All right, and then release. Let's do the other side. Lifting and lowering just your left heel. Strengthening the ankle. Good. Leave that heel up. Drop that left knee in and open it up. Good. Just exploring here. You might feel just fine. Relax the shoulders and then come back to neutral. Good. We're going to heel toe those feet back in and hip walk all the way back in the back of your chair. Good. I'm going to settle down into the chair and let everything relax in the upper body so we can focus on the lower bodies. Take your right knee on your exhale, bring it in. On your inhale, move it away. I'm moving just a little bit. You can move a great deal if you like. And then when you're ready, you can hug that knee in and hold. Get that really nice stretch for your glute and your low back. All right, we're going to release the leg. Let it come down. We're going to jump to the knee joint. Same leg. So out and back. Just moving in the correct structure of our body helps to reinforce the muscles where they should be. And hold your leg out there. We got some juice into the knee. Now we're strengthening the muscles that help support that knee. Just holding, squeezing, pulling your toes back. Get nice and tall with your posture in case you decided to slouch a little. Then point and flex. Now we're finally in that ankle joint. Circle your foot around. Go around the other way. Pull your toes back one more time. And now we're going to do eversion and inversion. With the foot. Like you're trying to go sideways. Lower it down. Feels nice and vibrant, yes? Okay, I'll assume everyone said yes. Let's go to the other side. So exhale, left knee comes in. Inhale, moves away. Find your range of motion that whatever works best for you today. So a little hip mobility, little glute stretch, little low back prevention. Hold here, breathe. If you want a deeper stretch, you're going to take your face in toward that knee. All right, release your leg. Good. Let's take that bottom half of your leg and bring it out and back with the intention of going in a straight line. We all have those habits of, kind of wonky knees. So we're trying to restructure everything. Hold it out there. Fire up those quads. Point and flex. All right, circle that ankle. We go around the other way. And come on back to neutral. Drop that ankle down. All right, we're hip walking. Go forward again. Hip walking helps those hips. So we're going to take a seated lunge. We'll start usually, I almost always start going off to the right to try to get the right knee, right quad, right hip flexor stretched out. So let's, before we go too far into that, I want to stretch the top of the foot. So if you're comfortable taking the shoelaces down or the top of your foot down, go ahead. Wait, why do I have shoes on? I might take them off. All right, get nice and tall here. If you're comfortable, stay here. If you'd rather go back to that toe tuck, I feel it's more stable here for the stretch. So I'm going to tuck my toes. And get exaggeratedly good proud posture. Lean back if you need to feel it more in your hip flexors. So these hip flexors, you guys keep stretching. They can get a little tight. So I'm going to exaggerate here. If you're sitting all day at the computer, what happens to these muscles? They get shorter and tighter, and this lengthens. And one of the side effects of those short hip flexors is constipation. Just thought I'd throw that in there. All right, ready for the other side? Plant your foot. Let's come around and stretch. We're going to first stretch the top of that left foot. I'm going to hold on to the chair so I don't fall out. Hold on to whatever you need to. Knee is pointing down, top of the foot, shoelaces are down. Oh, how's your breath? Where are you feeling the stretch? Alrighty, tuck your toes. We were on the other side for quite a while because I was talking away. So go ahead and hold the stretch, enjoy the stretch. And then when you're ready, you can come back to shoulders over hips. Plant your feet firmly in. I think we're about ready to come up now. So I'm going to go to the edge of the chair, do a couple of, we'll say, pre-squeezes, working those muscles so we have good muscle memory in the belly, the core. The belly's going to do little fists on the exhale. On the inhale, you're just going to release all those muscles. Exhale, squeeze, and inhale, release. I'm not doing it today. Squeeze your glutes. You might notice the difference. So you can probably tell. I could tell if I can watch each one of you and you see your knees. I can't see, and I can't see, don't worry. So squeeze your imaginary block, press your feet down, and release. So remember those muscles that are firing up, and try to use those same muscles as you purposefully press those feet down into the floor. If you're coming up off the chair, do it really slowly. Fire up those muscles that support the knee, the quads. Draw the belly in, squeeze your glutes. Press your feet back into the floor. How's your breath? Good. Heart is lifted, belly's drawn in. So all those things, they want to go back on vacation as we're standing here holding our chair pose or Utkatasana. When you're ready, keep breathing, and come all the way back up and wiggle those legs off. Okay, we're going into our down dog. So find a nice place to be behind your chair or something sturdy. Walk your feet back. Keep your feet hip distance apart or wider. Good. Flatten out that back. Check in with your breath. Alrighty. And then on your inhale, let's look forward. Bring your right knee in towards your chest if that feels okay on your back. We're going to plant the right foot forward and the left foot's staying back. I almost always have to readjust that back foot. So now it's turned out at a 45 rather than pointing towards 12 o'clock. We're going to bend and straighten the front knee just to kind of say good afternoon again to the knee. And it doesn't have to be very much. When it bends to full bent, it stops right over the ankle. Now notice what your back leg is doing. We want to try to really anchor into that back heel, which straightens the leg. All right, staying here in your warrior one. Warrior one legs. Add the arms if you like. Arms coming up. You can do those cactus arms again if you want to work on posture. Got it. All right, one more breath. Float your arms down. We're going to take a little baby step forward with the back foot. Hinge your hips back. Bring the toes up on that right leg. I'm not mirroring you because I'm off to the side. I feel like I don't have to. Anyway, so enjoy the stretch on the back of your right leg. Little micro bend in your knee if you need to. Okay, we're going to plant back into that foot. Go right on back to your warrior one. Maybe one or two arms come back up. I have to extend that back leg back out. All right, you ready for a twist? Cactus your arms, strengthen those posture muscles. You can always take one hand to your chair if you're willing. Press your feet into the floor, twist to your right, a little or a lot. How's your breath? All right, back to the center. Release your hands. Shift back into down dog. Okay, we're ready for the other side. Look forward, draw your left knee in a little or a lot, and step it forward. Warrior one, left legs forward. Get into your juicy knee. Invite that synovial fluid in. If it were only that easy to think about it and make it happen with movement. And then hold your knee over your ankle. Plug that back heel in. So your hips, your heart, your shoulders are all pointing toward in the same direction as your front knee. Optional arms, one or two arms, cactus arms are fine. How's your breath? All right, we're ready to go into that kind of like a runner stretch here. So drop your arms, back foot comes in a little bit, straighten your left leg, left toes come up, hinge your hips. Nice stretch here, and we're going back into our warrior one. So shift forward, left foot firmly plants down, right leg extends back again, knee is bent. And let's take those cactus arms for the most work. and push into the floor so you can twist to your left. Inhale back to the center. Release your hands. Good. All right, back to down dog. Try it with a different variation of your feet. As long as your feet aren't together, I would say try a wider stance and see what that does for your hips. And when you're ready, you can come on back up to find your mountain pose. So plugging those feet in, hip distance. Good. Rolling the shoulders back. We'll keep it nice and simple today. Good. Check in with your intention. So maybe one hand over the heart, one hand over the belly. See if you're still there with your intention or if your mind has gone somewhere else. All right. From here, we're going to take our stance out a little wider. So heels in, toes out. Goddess pose, which might be a little baby bend in your knees like I'm doing. If you want more work, you'll take your feet wider and sit your hips back even further. Okay, so it's important to not have too deep of an arch in your back and sending you forward like I'm doing here. I'm trying to protect. So we're point straight down with your hips, with your tailbone. One hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. All right, and then from here, we're gonna do a little side to side flow. Opt out if you'd like, or hold on to something. So I'm gonna take this hand that's on my heart and start to reach it up and over and come back. Hand over belly, other hand goes up and over. I have this great book called Healing Yoga, and I don't remember who wrote it. It's super old, but I love it. This is one of the stretches they say helps to stretch around the kidneys and help the urinary tract system. Just a little tidbit there. That and it feels really good, and we're strengthening your legs. One more time to each side. Or go till you feel even. I think I have one more. And come back. If you feel like you need more work for strengthening your legs, sit your hips down. Maybe you need to lift up your heels. I'm opting out of that. I'm going to stand like Wonder Woman. Good. All right. And then let's all come back to mountain pose. Let's go ahead and work on a little bit of balance. Yay. So have your chair handy. I went through all my scarves the other day, so I thought I'd be fancy and decorate with one. So feet are neutral. Shift your shoulders back. Let's put our weight into the right foot. We're going to pick up the left heel. Take the left foot forward. If this hurts your standing knee, you can drop your foot in any time. So challenge your balance if you're comfortable by not holding on or holding on very lightly. We're going to spell our first name with that left foot that's in the air, in cursive, of course, while breathing. And Sue, if Sue is short for something, you got to spell out your whole name. All right. And put an extra swirl at the end, and then just drop your foot. Let's do the other side. All right, nice and tall with the posture. Last name, this time with the other ankle. So now we're working the brain and our balance muscles and mobility into the ankle. All right, let's go with our traditional, I call it Tadasana flow. I'm sure there's another name for it. Palms are facing in toward our thighs. As we inhale, maybe one hand if you're off balance, both hands if your balance is okay. Heels are coming up off the ground a little or a lot. Exhale, lower down. Good. Inhale up. Those of you guys who want more strength, sit the hips back on your exhale, go into chair pose. Usually I like to do about 5 to 10 of these guys. Get that nervous system back in order. But who's counting, right? All right. After this one, we're going to work on strengthening those ankles and stay lifted. So I'm going to leave my arms down because I don't care what my arms are doing. I want to work on ankle strength. And I'm feeling the stability muscles. Get those little like, I'm sure there's a name for that too. So feel your calf muscles working. Slowly lower your hips down. If you feel like you'd like another chair pose, do that. Sit the hips back, draw the belly in. And take in high chair. If you're in your chair pose, you should be able to wiggle your toes. Put the weight onto the balls of the feet and the heels. And then engage everything to come up. All right, let's go into pyramid pose. Okay, get my shoes off. So pyramid pose is a really nice stretch for the hips, and it can wreak havoc on your back, so be careful with that. Do less, especially if it's your first time exploring pyramid pose. So I'm going to start here facing my chair. I'm going to take my feet a little wider, like train tracks. I'm going to leave the right foot pretty much where it is. I just stepped it about an inch in front of the left. I'm going to slide the left foot back. Ideally, toes are pointing forward. But if your hips feel really tight, your back foot might want to turn. Let it. So we want to keep the low back nice and flat. I'm going to keep my hands on my hips. Lots of details here. Try not to lock your front knee. And you can pick up your toes to prevent that from locking. I'm going to draw this right hip. Right foot's forward, right hip goes back. Maybe this is good for you. But I'd like to flow and then hold first. So inhale brings us up. The exhale brings us forward, but you really got to be careful in drawing the right hip back to get the most out of the stretch. Inhale up, exhale leaning forward. And then find a place that feels right for you to hold. We'll be here for a few breaths. So I'm always checking in with what my legs are doing. The natural tendency is to shift the hips so the right hip is forward. We want it to keep drawing back. And ideally, we have a nice flat back here. See if you can settle into the stretch and soften your shoulders. Okay, we're going to bend into the front knee. Get ready to come up nice and tall. Okay, we'll switch the feet. Remember to stay on train tracks and don't go into a balance beam. So wider feet. The feet aren't as further apart as they would be in Warrior One. Shift the hips forward. I'm going to keep my left hand on my left hip. Keep drawing the left hip back. Inhale, come back up. Good. All right. Usually 3 or 4 flows, and then you can find that really nice hold here. Find a place to be where it feels good, drawing the left hip back, right hip forward, flattening the low back. Okay. You can release your toes down if they're lifted, bend into your left knee, come up, and let's take a few standing cat-cows. So we'll inhale, feet are wide. Open the arms, exhale, arch and round. Find that nice little flow here, just neutralizing the spine. And bringing in a little element of fluidity into our practice, into our joints, into our lives, and then release. Good. All right, we're gonna go into tree pose because I love balance. So wide feet, stack the shoulders, core is engaged a little bit. That helps balance too. So we're going to keep the eyes focused on something that's not moving straight ahead. We put the weight to the right foot. Left heel lifts, and we're going to rotate that knee open. Your foot can be down in the sapling if you like. You can pick that foot up if you want. More of a balance challenge. Picture your standing foot making a footprint in the floor without gripping your toes. We're going to be here for a while. Because I want to also strengthen the shoulders while we're here. So I'm going to press the palms together and drop the elbows. Squeeze those little baguettes that are under your armpits. And release. One more. Squeeze and release. I lied. Let's do one more. And release. Good. Release your arms. Take your knee forward. Plant your foot down. Wiggle it out. It's a lot of work. Let's do the other side. Okay, posture, core, feel the footprint. You got that? Was that your right foot coming up, right knee opening? Tight hips, maybe? Arms are optional, by the way. You can always hold on. So on this side of our tree, Let's do the opposite. So we're gonna interlace the fingers and keep your palms together and try to pull them apart. We're strengthening around the rotator cuffs. Try to pull them apart. One more. And release. Good. Take your knee forward, plant your foot down, and let's do another chair pose because it's so nice and strengthening. Draw your hips back. All the details we can think of. Squeeze your imaginary block. Unless you have your feet wide, that's fine too. If you want more work, you're gonna bring those arms up, but not at the risk of pinching your shoulders up. So keep your shoulders happy. Another option might be taking your arms out. Keep the belly engaged. How's your breath? Oh, widespread fingers. Can you bring a smile to this lovely chair pose? Okay, I thought so. And then release your arms and come all the way up, shake it off. Okay, let's tap our kidneys, wide feet, and release any tension in the neck, in the shoulders, in the back, in the hips, in the knees. All righty, let's go ahead and take that seat. And try to line back up in the center of the video. Before you sit down, come back up. Line yourself up. Those slow motion sits are so good for our knees. Strengthening the structure that supports our knee joints. Oh, good. There we go. Core, before I forget. So there's a handful of people that used to come to my class in the gym that are not showing up here. And one of them, she'd always want core. So I'm thinking of her right now. So thanks, Kathy. I'm going to lean back. If anybody has, if you remember who Kathy is, she'd wear pink, bright pink lipstick and fun pink clothes. If you have her email, go ahead and let her know that we're practicing. All right, so what we're going to do is lean back, hold on to the chair, fire up the core to bring that knee in. There's your exhale. This is also good for hips. On your inhale, push your leg out. So exhale, knee comes in. Inhale, push the leg out. So if you're leaning back, I'll turn sideways, you're gonna feel it more in the core. If you're upright, not so much. Play around with what works best for you. Find your edge. You gotta still breathe. All right, and then release that leg, come up nice and tall. Take the strain out of the back, lean forward, wiggle, and then come back up. You gotta be on the edge. Shift yourself back, fire up your core muscles. Exhale, knee comes in. Inhale, you're kicking it out. Really make those muscles work. You could be on vacation just kind of fluffing it, but why would you want to do that? Good, a couple more. Well, all right, and then drop it down. Do some organic movements that make your back happy. Good, all right, let's do that all over again. This time, as an option, you can hold on to your chair if that's where you like to be, or you can challenge yourself if you want more work. Bring your arms forward. Exhale, knee comes in. Inhale, kick it out. Go as slowly as you like to work those muscles. Keep going. I'm going to opt out and take a drink of water. No, I'm just kidding. It's water. All right, let's release that leg down. Soften into the back muscles. And come on back up, nice and tall. We have one more side to do, and I promise that's it for core. So leaning back, fire up your muscles. Also watch for tension in the neck. So we don't want any added tension anywhere where it doesn't need to be. Exhale, knee draws in, inhale, knee or leg straightens, and you're kicking your foot out. Okay, a couple more. Keep going. And then when you're ready, lower your foot and take those nice movements in your spine. Alrighty, let's try it now. We did our standing pyramid. Sometimes I'll do this in the class so we can compare. standing pyramid to seated pyramid. To me, I feel like it's a whole different ball game, and it shouldn't probably even be called the same thing, because I feel a different stretch completely. Some people might not. So I'm going to come very, very much to the edge of the chair, slide the right foot perfectly forward, and pull the toes back. If you feel the stretch behind your knee, put a little micro bend on your knee. All right, so again, nice and tall, so we don't have to worry about the hips when pulling back here. We're bending right at the hip crease, and then you can lean forward if you want to feel it more of a stretch somewhere. If you want to work on those arm posture strengtheners, you can draw those elbows back in that W and do some Wonder Woman arms. Good. So we're doing a bunch of things here. If you're doing the arms, working on posture, pulling the toes back, you can feel a nice stretch, hopefully in the back of your calf muscle and your what are those called? Oh, whatever, hamstrings. All right, float those arms down, come all the way back up, and let's slide the foot back. Wiggle around so you feel nice and even in your hips. We're going to plant into that right foot, slide the left foot forward, or switch your feet if you already did that side. Pull your toes back, find your hip creases, and maybe you bend from those hip creases. Maybe you stay upright if you're feeling a little tight. Long spine here. So what I can't see is if anyone is tucking or looking up. So we want to think of the maybe a broomstick duct tape to the back of the head and to the low back. So everything's in that nice alignment. You can add the arms or skip the arms because the arm part is not asymmetric. Good. Find a place to breathe and hold. You can keep flowing your arms. All right, when you're ready to inhale, release your arms. Come all the way back up. And we need a symmetric pose. We're going to do a couple of those. So I'm still at the edge. Camel pose. I'm going to roll the shoulders back and open up through those palms. I'm trying to get those shoulder blades to come together. Lift up through the heart. And release. Kind of like a seated child's pose coming forward. Inhale, come back up. And you can go right on back to this variation of your camel, or you can hold onto your chair. Not just holding on though, I'm also trying to stretch here in the front of the shoulders, and really engaging those shoulder blades together. So if someone were to give me a flower, I should be able to hold it between my shoulder blades. Just kidding, probably wouldn't happen. And release. Good. Take a little release here. Turn your head and bring your arms to half swing because we're seated. We're going to turn this into our twist here. So twist and hold to your right, knees are forward. I'm going to take this back hand, so this would be your right hand, and plug it into the chair to help lift up the spine. You can turn your gaze back behind your right shoulder. Leave your body where it is, turn your head in the opposite direction. Notice what your knees are doing. Mine was on vacation. So I'm going to plug those feet down into the floor. On your inhale, come back to the center. Okay, let's twist the other way. So if you have the space, and I know I'm still at the edge of my chair, hopefully you are too, I'm going to take that hand behind me and push it down. If you have low back issues, this one might not be great for you. Turn and look over your left shoulder. Still breathing. Keep your body where it is. Turn your head in the opposite direction. Good. Inhale, come back to the center. Reach forward. Okay, let's do a little bit more work. Come on back up. Widen the stance of your feet. As wide as they can go comfortably. Super wide. We're going into our lovely seated warrior two. I say lovely because almost no one loves this. So now we all do because I gave it that name. Ankle below knee. Press into your back foot. You probably can't see my foot. It is flat. Find the pinky toe edge of your foot right there. Press that guy into the floor. Okay. If your knee is bent, that's fine as long as your foot is flat. All right, shoulders are stacked over your hips, arms are out, and gaze is at that right middle finger. Maybe you do a check and you look at that back arm to see if it's on vacation or if it's active. It's okay to bring your arm on vacation because if you're taking care of your shoulders, you're gonna wanna drop your arms. All right, ready? We're going into side angle. So drop your arms, rest your hand, or if you want a deeper stretch, your forearm onto your right thigh. Roll your shoulders back. There's that broomstick duct tape to our back again. So if your head's hanging, pick it up. Chin is in alignment with the sternum. Okay, and then maybe we take the arm up. Keep pressing into the floor with those feet. I'm trying not to collapse into that arm. My core is working a bit. And then if you want to deepen the stretch, you can bring that arm up overhead so your bicep comes close to your ear. Palm is facing down. How's your breath? Oh. When you're ready, press your feet down, engage your core, slow motion, come back up. Beautiful, warrior two. We're gonna flip the palms up. Bring the palms all the way up nice and tall. See if you can bring your feet back to neutral. Rest your hands on your legs. Take a little lean forward, neutralizing the spine. Good. All right, come back up. Awkward pause. Sorry, just kidding. All right, we're rotating that left knee over to the side, knee over ankle. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side, obviously. So really mindful of that back foot. Plug the pinky toe side of your foot down. Stack your shoulders over your hips. Pressing into the floor with both feet evenly. Arms are out. Do that check with your back arm. Gaze over your left middle finger. Make sure your crown of your head is lifting super tall and beautifully. All right, and then when you're ready, float your arms down, side angle. Plug those feet back in case they went on vacation. Find the movement that works well for you, taking care of your back. Stay here. Broomstick on the back, arm is reaching up or overhead. So not collapsing down, re-plug into those feet. Can you still breathe here? When you're ready, plug into the feet. Use your core muscles to help propel you back through warrior two. Nice and tall. We're gonna flip those palms up, reach the arms up. Bring the legs back to neutral if you can without using your arms. And then float your hands down. So I'm gonna keep the knees wide actually. And then just take some nice loose movements around with the upper body. The deeper your flow is around into a circle, the more of a massage you're gonna get in that agni, your digestive fire, and you get to massage all that stuff in there. Good. All right, go around the other way. All righty, and come all the way up. When you're ready, bring your feet back in order, hip walk back. Gotta get into our pigeon pose. Ready? If it feels right for you, I think we all know the drill by now, right? We're gonna hug that right knee in, maybe you stay there. Maybe you take that right ankle to your opposite knee. If you're extra double dog tight, bring movement in and then a hold. So tight where, you ask? I still get asked that even after I've taught the same students for years, and it's a really good question, and I'm glad people ask. It's deep within the hip socket. It's a piriformis stretch. This is one of the only ways to get it to stretch. Sometimes the piriformis gets a little tight and it pinches that sciatic nerve. And we get a lot of pain that shoots down and pain in the low back. So this is a great stretch to just do if you're having a little discomfort in the back and down into your legs and into your hips. Soften the shoulders, relax the face. Lean forward if you want to feel it a little bit more. I have a death grip on my ankle and I don't know why. All right, we're coming up. Extend your leg, turn it into Jello, generic Jello, so I don't have to pay any royalties. Okay, I think it's gelatin. So bring your other knee in, flex your foot. Maybe you stay there. We'll try bringing ankle to opposite knee. Movement in if you need to. Gentle movement, not forcing it. Keep the foot flexed to support your knee joints. If it hurts, back out. Same thing, lean forward if you like. This is great too for people who are seated all day. This is, yes, you're still seated, but you're getting a great stretch that helps. One of the problems with the, how they say that seated is the new smoking. So this is one of the things that can reverse that. All right. When you're ready, come back up. Straighten that leg, turn it to mush, wiggle it out. Big breath in, arms are coming up. Exhale, palms down to heart center. Just take a couple of breaths. Just noticing how your body feels. Take a before picture. All right, and now we'll do our self-massage for our immune system. So reach down as far as you're comfortable with that. Get into your right leg, light brush stroking up. And lean back, get into the groin area, the hips. Light brush stroking up the other leg. Groin. And now we're into the belly and the low ribs. Just lightly brush stroking in the direction of the heart. The low back. And the right arm. Armpit. Left arm. Armpit. And then sternum. So light tapping with your fingertips. Stimulating that area. My Fitbit thinks I'm working out. All right, I'm going to jump up to the crown of the head, to the top of the ears. And about 3 times. Still breathing, softening the belly. And then find that little notch on the back of your skull where it connects to your neck. Get in there with your thumbs or your fingers. Nice, good, healthy massage there. Then we'll do our peace fingers. Index finger tucks behind the earlobe. Middle finger in front. Nice firm circles here. Either direction or both directions is fine. And then we're going to lighten the pressure. Find the jawbone along the bottom of the jawbone. Light brush stroking or tapping to the chin. Light brush stroking down the front of the neck. And release your hands down onto your lap for our final resting pose, Shavasana. And then you can bring in your finger technique and counting the breath, especially if your mind tends to wander or you're like, oh, can we just hurry up? Some people find Shavasana the hardest part of yoga. If that's you, try this breathing technique using your thumbs at the base of your index finger. Inhale, glide your thumb up to the tip of the finger. Exhale, glide the thumb back. Each finger, one breath. If it brings more tension, release the hand gestures. And just breathe. Inhale and exhale. You're welcome to stay with your breath count using your finger technique, or you can just rest your hands comfortably and bring full awareness into the face. Awareness into the neck and shoulders. Invite a sense of feeling heavy, letting go. Awareness into the arms and hands. All 10 fingers. Breathing in, breathing out. Awareness into the chest and belly. Awareness into the back Awareness into the hips. Down into and through both legs. Into the feet. All 10 toes. And bring your awareness into your whole body, whole physical body. And then for you advanced yogis, bring awareness into your emotions. See if you can detect where you're feeling whatever emotion you're feeling. And just practice being for the next few breaths. We'll slowly start to bring movement back in, wiggling fingers, wiggling toes. Take one hand, doesn't matter which one hand over the heart, one hand over the belly, and sit up nice and tall. Bring in a little bit of gratitude, or a lot of gratitude. Kind of balancing out all the news and everything that's going on in the world. So remembering to come back to what is right every once in a while to keep things balanced. Allow yourself to think of at least 2 things you're grateful for. And see if you can detect where you feel that gratitude. You can take your hands to heart center if you like. Namaste. Have a beautiful rest of your Monday, you guys.
Namaste. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Deeann.
You are very welcome.
Oh, another wonderful class. Thank you.
You're welcome.
No awkward pauses. There were no awkward
Have a nice
pauses.
day.
Thanks, you
I'm going
too.
to send you a link to that. You can look at it. You'll see. But you don't have to watch it.
I'll put it on fast forward.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Bye. Deeann,
Bye.
where can we watch the videos of your classes?
I've decided halfway through, I'm like, this isn't going to be a good class, so I'm probably going to delete this one.
This class was fantastic.
Okay, I'll double check on that. We'll see. Oh yeah, I got to stop recording. That will make less editing for me later. So Jill, to answer your question.